Hello, everybody, and welcome to MLB the Show 20. I am your host, longtime listener. Drop a like, subscribe, comment below. I'm first-time
Hey
YouTuber,
everyone,
so
Matt
bear with me
Vasgersian
as we
here.
kind of get a feel
Welcome to
for
the
how this stuff
show.
is supposed to flow. But during quarantine, ran out of things to do and just kind of started watching some franchise series just to fill my day a little bit and get my fix of baseball. And shout out to guys like Jersey Bourne, who's doing some things like this. Really like the presentation style, and I'll probably mimic a lot of what he does. So if you haven't seen his stuff, definitely give it a look. We are going to roll with the Detroit Tigers. This team was the worst in baseball last year. Just tons of holes throughout this roster, very little depth. So we're going to struggle the first season or two. There's no doubt about that. But there are some things to look forward to in the future. We're going to jump right in and take a look at the rosters here. We got Matthew Boyd, the ace of this organization, 29 years old. He's an 82 overall rated. Xiaoqing Chang, hasn't pitched in the majors, but we'll probably see some time this year. Daniel Norris, left-hander, and Zach Godley, a righty that really I'd like to be long relievers, but they're probably going to be in our rotation just because how bad we are. And Spencer Turnbull will probably round out the rotation, 27 years old, and some upside from him if he can develop over the next season or two. Michael Fulmer, a guy that's probably a trade piece, depending on how this season goes and how he fares. Skubal is definitely a high prospect for us, 23 years old, lots of upside there, but not going to throw him on the 40-man rotation just yet. Casey Mize and Matt Manning, another couple of guys that will definitely be a part of this organization's history, or future, I should say, possibly history down the road. Looking at the bullpen, just absolute garbage here. There's nobody here that's really noteworthy. Alex Wilson, a 69 overall, is the best we've gotten. He's 32 years old. Nobody left-handed in this organization that is worth a damn, so we're probably going to have to go and get somebody. I think the best rated was like Gregory Soto at 58 overall. Joe Jimenez is going to start the year as the closing pitcher for this team, but he's a 71 overall. Really would like for him to be a reliever, not a closer. Austin Romine and Jake Rogers, two catchers with pretty similar ratings, I guess you would call it, but Romine, the veteran, and Rogers, the up-and-comer, will probably see a lot of time from both of those guys. CJ Cron, 30 years old, he mashes against left-handed pitching, but not a whole lot of value otherwise. Miguel Cabrera, lots to look at here. Obviously, we know about him. He's 36 years old, struggled the last few seasons, but you look at his statistics, and he's got some milestones to look out for. He's 185 hits away from 3,000. 23 homers away from 500, and he needs 71 runs for the 1,500 plateau. But he hasn't put up numbers like that since 2016. We'll see how he fares, but he is a guy that we would love to move if possible, but that contract is just a beast. Schwindel and Dixon, some guys in the minors that might have some potential. Looking at second base, it's Jonathan Scope. I hate the way his name is pronounced, but he's in the last year of his contract. Probably some trade bait there. Elvis Vizcaino really should be on the major league roster and probably will be. He's a 27 overall, not much upside, but probably need him just for depth. Harold Castro, I really like what this guy can give us against right-handed pitching. Great contact ratings there, can play any position, so he's going to see a lot of playing time. Dawel Lugo, a 25-year-old with some upside as well. Don't see him at being an everyday guy down the road, but certainly will be a part of this organization for at least the next few years. Candelario at third base, we just don't have any other realistic options here, but he absolutely sucks against right-handed pitching. Not sure what we can do with him, but he's probably going to get a lot of playing time this year just because we don't have any other options. Nico Goodrum at short. He's another guy that can play every position. Doesn't hit righties very well, at least not for contact, but he does do well against lefties. I wouldn't want him in the roster on the lineup every day, but he's going to have to be because we just don't have any other shortstops in this organization that are, major league worthy in my opinion. In left field, Kristen Stewart, 26 years old. He's really been trying to kind of figure it out at the major league level, but really hasn't put together a season that's worthy of playing every day at the major league level. Victor Reyes and Cameron Maben going to split a lot of time in center field. Probably going to give that starting spot to Reyes and hope that Cameron can pick up enough time and put up numbers where we might be able to trade him as he's 32 years old. Daz Cameron, a prospect worth looking at, as well as Riley Green. Green is an interesting guy because he's 19 years old and an A potential, so a lot of upside there, but he has no power, doesn't have a ton of speed, and his plate skills are not that good if you look at the vision and discipline there. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with him. I would not be shocked if in a couple of years we're in a playoff race and I actually use him as trade bait, but we'll keep an eye on that and see how he progresses. In right field, it's going to be Jorge Bonifacio, really the only guy noteworthy there. He's probably going to be just about our everyday guy, but might split some time with Cameron Maybin, to be honest. We're actually going to sim through spring training, and then I want to show you a couple of the free agent pickups that I made. Some of these are a little bit cheesy, to be honest, but this team was so bad that just to try and make it interesting this first season and be a little bit competitive, I picked up some guys. Jordan Balazovic, whatever you want to call him. I actually picked him up and dropped his overall ratings and his potential because I didn't feel like it was even remotely realistic to get a 79 A potential off the free agent market just sitting there. Xiaoqing Chang, I actually lowered his overall but raised his potential. That's not a free agent pickup, but I did make some changes there just because he hasn't pitched in the majors and we really shouldn't be sure what to expect from him. In the bullpen, we picked up Tim Meza, a left-handed reliever that's probably going to get a lot of time with us this year. We also moved Joe Jimenez from closer to relief pitcher, like I mentioned I wanted to do earlier, because we picked up Arodys Vizcaino. He's going to be the closer on opening day. Also found this gem, Dominic Billingsley, a left-handed relief pitcher, 68 overall, B potential, so he's young. We're not going to put him on the 40-man. We're going to give him some time in the minors to try and develop before we bring him up. Doesn't throw super hard. He will walk some guys, but if you look at the ratings, he doesn't give up a lot of hits, and his Ks per nine and homers per nine ratings are pretty good. So if he learns to throw strikes and just kind of attack hitters, he should be a pretty good piece for this organization in the future. At shortstop, we picked up Tim Beckham just to give us some depth at that position. Here's another find. I think this is a game-generated guy. Lawrence Walker, might call him Larry. But in any case, 71 overall, 19 years old, B potential, and pretty much does everything well except actually catch the baseball. His fielding and reaction ratings are not that strong, but he's probably going to play every day for us. As a result, Kristen Stewart's going to go down to AAA to start the season. We picked up another prospect in center field as Les Delusky was a 73 overall with B potential. If he develops some power, he could be a stud. He's got pretty good plate skills and contact ratings are all right. He's a switch hitter, plays decent defense, and the speed is just fantastic. So I really like what he could bring to our organization in the future. Our opening day rotation is going to be Matthew Boyd, Jordan Balachovic, Zach Godley, Daniel Norris, and Spencer Turnbull. Xiaoqing Chang and Michael Fulmer will be our long relievers. Alex Wilson is our middle reliever that's noteworthy. Rony Garcia and Gregory Soto, guys that will probably just look to, eat innings in scenarios where the game is kind of out of control. The setup guys are going to be Meza and Jimenez, lefty and righty respectively, and then, like we mentioned earlier, Vizcaino will be the closer. We'll see how this pitching staff does, but I really think this is going to be the weakness of this team this year for sure. Offensively, we'll take a look at the lineups. Center field is going to be Victor Reyes leading off. Castro will DH, but also play a lot of different positions to give other guys some rest. Miguel Cabrera at first, Scope at second, Lawrence Walker in left. Vizcaino got the start at third. He played actually very well in spring training. Bonifacio in right. Austin Romine going to catch against right-handed pitching. Nico Goodrum will round out the lineup, batting ninth and playing shortstop. That leaves on the bench C.J. Cron, Jeimer Candelario, who was awful during spring training. Cameron Maybin will get a lot of time, and like I said, Rogers is going to play against left-handed pitching. Against National League opponents, we just basically drop Vizcaino out, move Castro to third, and everybody else shifts up. Against lefties, it's Goodrum, Reyes, Cabrera DHing, Cron at first, Scope at second, Walker in left, Vizcaino, Bonifacio, and Rogers. And then against National League teams, we'll just drop Cron out of the lineup and everybody else shifts up. That's a look at the lineup. Guys, we are going to jump right into to some action here on opening day 2020. The Tigers go out to Cleveland to take on division rivals, the Indians. A new season is upon us. This is a team that's got a lot of high hopes in terms of future potential, but really a 2020 season where realistically I feel like a 500 finish might be about the best that we can expect. But you never know. It's early. We got a lot of youth on this team. If guys play well, we could maybe make a playoff push. And we've, unfortunately just don't have a lot of trade pieces to move if we get in a position where we're just trying to make a late season run. Shane Bieber would be on the hill for the Indians. He pitched pretty well for them last year, a 3.28 ERA. You see the numbers there, 15 wins over 214 in the third innings. First batter would be Victor Reyes, and on a 3-2 pitch, he takes a slider down and in. Tough way to start the year for the Tigers. Harold Castro would be up next, and on an 0-1 pitch, he lines one to second, but that's caught for the second out. Cabrera next, he would take a 3-0 slider in off the plate, so some respect there to the big fella. He's on with 2 away, and then it was Jonathan Scope on a 2-1 pitch. He gets one to hit. It's a line drive to third, caught by Ramirez. That would end the inning. Matthew Boyd, you see the numbers there from last year. A 1.23 whip is not that bad, but a 4.56 ERA to go along with it tells me that he just wasn't able to get out of trouble whenever he needed to. We'll see if he can improve upon that last year, but you pretty much like the rest of those numbers. First batter was Cesar Hernandez, and he would ground one over to second, Scope over to field, 1 away. Then it was Mercado. Another ground ball to second, and it would be 2 away. Reyes goes down swinging at a curve down and away. Then it would be a pitcher's duel. These guys get settled in. Look at the run that these two pitchers put together. Both pitchers going to put together some opening day gems for you. Top of the second, here's Bonifacio, routine fly to center. That would end the inning. Boyd goes to work in his half. Remember, he struck out Reyes to end the first, and there's a strikeout. Strikes out Ramirez, 3 in a row. Strikes out Santana. It would be 4 in a row from Matthew Boyd. He is dealing. Austin Romine chops one to third. That would be the first out in the top of the third. Then it was Nico Goodrum. He's down on strikes, swinging at the backdoor slider. And it's 2 away in the third. Reyes lifts a routine fly to shallow center, and the Tigers scoreless through their half of the third. Boyd, another strikeout, make it 5 in a row. Then it was Perez down on a changeup down and away. 6 strikeouts in a row before finally a weak grounder to third. That was it for the Indians in the third. Castro grounds one to first, unassisted there. Cabrera, routine grounder to short. He runs really slow, easy play there, and then Scope just flailing at one. Hits a soft liner to third. That would do it for the Tigers in the fourth. Matthew Boyd with a comebacker for Mercado, 1 away. He would then get Lindor to hit a soft grounder to third, and it's 2 down for the Indians. Next batter was Reyes. He lifts a fly to left. Walker is under it, and that would do it for the Indians in the fourth. Walker at the plate now. He hits a ground ball to short, handled easily by Lindor, and it's 1 down. Vizcaíno chasing a changeup out of the zone, and he's down for the second out. Then it was Bonifacio. Deep to left, but that ball hooks foul. And later in the at-bat, he would go down on strikes, and Shane Bieber has a no-hitter through 5 innings. First pitch of the next inning, Santana gets a fastball. It is off the plate away, but he pokes it to deep right. Bonifacio going back. He leaps, but that ball is well out of here, and the Indians with a huge solo shot from Santana there. That might be enough for the Indians the way Shane Bieber is pitching right now. And the Indians faithful are fired up here in Cleveland. A tough break. If you look at this, where this pitch was located, 9 times out of 10, that ball is going to be, a soft grounder to shortstop. Way off the plate there outside. Tough break for Matthew Boyd. Next batter, he tries to bury a slider down and into Ramirez. Actually, next pitch, he laces one into left. So trouble brewing here for the Tigers. And we'll see if Matthew Boyd could get settled back in. He certainly would. Catches a call on the bottom of the zone there to get Santana, the other Santana. Then Luplow would swing through a circle change down and away. Next batter, Roberto Perez. He would also swing through a circle change down and away. So Boyd, good job bouncing back after the solo shot. But it is 1-0 Cleveland here After 5 innings, Shane Bieber going back to work. He gets Austin Romine to hit a routine grounder to short for the first out of the inning. Next up would be Nico Goodrum. He's going to lift a fly ball into shallow left center for the second out. No hitter still intact. And then it was Victor Reyes. He hits a line drive into left. Santana comes in and then just stops and lets it bounce right in front of him. Come on, are you kidding me? 2 outs in the 6th, the guy's got a no-no going, and you do that? Come on, that's just absolute garbage. Tigers going to take advantage though with 2 away and the Speedy Reyes at first. They send him. He's into second, and then Castro would rope one into right center. Luplow going back. He's able to run this down with the over-the-shoulder grab, and that would do it for the Tigers in the 6th. Still 1-0 here. Just 1 hit for the Tigers through 6. Matthew Boyd back out there for the bottom of the 6th. He gets a line drive that happens to be right at Bonifacio and right for the first out. Then he gets a slider down and in for the strikeout for the second out. Gets Lindor chasing high heat, 91 miles an hour, but he couldn't catch up with it. That's it for the Indians in the 6th. Then it was Cabrera. He lifts a fly to right. That would be the first out of the inning. Jonathan Scope gets a fastball up, goes up and gets it, laces one down the right field line into the corner. He's going to have to hustle, but he should be able to get into second, and he slides in ahead of the throw. So the Tigers in business here again in the 7th after struggling for the first 5 innings. Walker would ground out to short for the second out, and then with 2 away, a fastball down and in should have been strike 3, and you know what that means, right? On the next pitch, Vizcaíno lifts one deep to left. Mercado going back, but this one is going to run out of steam, and that will do it for the Tigers in the 7th. Still 1-0. Matthew Boyd still out there for the Tigers, going to work in the 7th. First batter chops one up the middle, a C&I single, and the Indians in business here. Tigers cannot afford to give up another run here, you would think. Next batter lines one out to second. Scope able to handle it, and 1 away. And it was Jose Ramirez. He hits a grounder to third. Going to have to hustle if they're going to turn 2. Nice feed. There's the turn, and it is 2 for the price of 1 for the Tigers. We go to the 8th, and it's Cameron Maben leading off for Detroit. His first at bat of the early season, and again a guy that we're hoping can put something together and have a nice run and maybe be some trade bait later in the year. He lifts one deep to right field. Luplow tracks that one down in the corner, and that would be the first out here in the 8th. Next batter, Austin Romine, gets a pitch to hit, and he laces a ball to deep left center. It would go off the wall. Romine doesn't run well, but he is able to hustle and get in ahead of the throw for a 1-out double, and the Tigers, for the 3rd inning in a row, have a guy in scoring position. And now 1 away. It would be Nico Goodrum. Rips one into right field. Hit too well for Romine to be able to score. And that would do it for Shane Bieber. Terry Francona with the slow walk out to get him. The Cleveland faithful will definitely give him a standing O for this performance. He goes 7 1/3, 4 hits and a walk, struck out 4. He's responsible for the runners, but in a good position to hopefully pick up a win here on opening day. Adam Simber into spell relief here. He had a decent year last year. This is a submariner, primarily sinker-slider combination. Obviously going to be looking for a double play here. And he would get the ground ball he's looking for. Ramirez with the feed to Hernandez at second. The throw to first is not in time. A bang-bang play at first. Reyes beats it out. The runner does come in to score, and Shane Bieber is going to get a no decision after that performance. You take another look here. The ball was hit to his backhand. He's a little slow getting rid of it to second, and that would be just enough for Reyes to beat the throw to first, and the Tigers have tied this thing with 2 away here in the 8th. Next batter is Harold Castro, but before he even has a chance, Victor Reyes picked off. It was an 0-2 count, so he was probably just thinking about trying to get into scoring position with 2 away. You see Maben in to play right field in the bottom of the 8th, and the first batter takes a ball into right field, and that would do it for Matthew Boyd. He goes 7+ innings of work, gives up 5 hits, no walks, 1 earned, struck out 11. The solo homer from Santana, the only damage, although he is responsible for the runner at first. Joe Jimenez on here to try and bail him out here in the bottom of the 8th. Got a good hard fastball, slider, and a changeup. If he's locating those off-speed pitches, he is tough to hit. He gets a strikeout for the first out. Fly ball into right. Maben able to track that one down. 2 away. He's now 1 out away from getting out of danger here in the 8th, and he gets Hernandez to swing through a changeup down out of the zone. That would do it for the Indians in the 8th. Forgot to mention that Delano DeShields pinch ran in that inning, but never actually even tried to steal second base. But he's into the ball game in left field defensively. First batter, a ground ball to third from Castro, one away. Cabrera would hit one well, but Lindor able to handle that on the backhand, and that would be the second out of the inning here in the ninth. Then it was Jonathan Schoop. He gets a pitch to hit, a slider just kind of hanging there. It was out on the corner. Ropes one in the left, but that one would get caught by DeShields for the final out. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Alex Wilson on. He's got a nasty slider. You look at the numbers last year, not very impressive, but he didn't get a lot of work, so it's a short sample size. He gets a swinging strikeout there, a swinging strikeout on Lindor, and a third swinging K. Reyes not happy with himself, but we are going to extra innings here on opening day. Nick Whitgren on for the Indians to start the 10th. Look at the numbers there last year. He was outstanding for them across 55 games. First batter he faces is Lawrence Walker with 2 strikes, chases one up out of the zone, pops it into foul territory, and Santana able to run that one down for the first out here in the 10th. Next up was Elvis Vizcaino. He gets a slider hanging over the middle of the plate, hits it hard, but Ramirez able to glove that. 2 away. Next batter was Cameron Maben in a pinch hit appearance earlier, but now he is 0 for 2 as he grounds out to short to end the Tigers' half of the 10th. Michael Fulmer on in relief here in extra innings, so the Tigers probably thinking they're probably going to have to get a bunch of innings out of him if this game goes on for a while. The way it's going, it very well could, because nobody is scoring. There's a strikeout on Santana. He brings the high heat up and in to get him. Then a backdoor slider. Ramirez rolls over it, grounds one to second, and Schoop able to handle that for the second out of the inning. Next batter was Delano DeShields. He grounds to short. That would do it for the Indians in the 10th. We head to the 11th. Jake Rogers going to pinch hit to start the inning here for the Tigers, and he would hit one deep to center field. That ball going back. Mercado chasing it, runs it down just shy of the track. One away. Nico Goodrum up next. He gets a 3-2 changeup, able to handle that one as it just kind of sat over the middle of the plate. It was down, but he hits it through the hole into right, and the Tigers are in business in the top of the 11th. Reyes was up next. He is frozen looking at a fastball for the second out. Definitely a steal situation now as the Indians decide to try and pitch out with a 1-0 count, and then on the next pitch, there goes Goodrum. He is into second safely, and the Tigers have a runner in scoring position with 2 down here. Castro hits one into right. This is going to be close as he's going to have to hustle. The throw to the plate is going to be just late. Good slide from Goodrum, and the Tigers lead this 2-1. Some drama on opening day, and then it would be Cabrera. Goodrum would have scored anyway had he held it third because that ball was into center field for a base hit. C.J. Cron would enter the game to run for Cabrera, who had a solid day here to start the season. Jonathan Schoop gets a hanging slider, rips one into left center field, but that's going to hang up long enough for Mercado to get there. But the Tigers have taken the lead here. We go to the bottom of the 11th. Jake Rogers going to stay in the game at catcher. C.J. Cron would take over at first base, and Arodys Vizcaino going to get his first test of the season here for the Tigers. Game number 1. He only threw 4 games last year before missing the rest of the season due to injury. Guy throws absolute gas. A fastball, sinker, 2-seamer, and a slider, but Tyler Naquin would start this thing off as a pinch hitter. He goes down chasing that sinker out of the zone for the first out. Next would be Perez. He had a slider to hit there, but missed it, fouled it away, and on the next pitch goes down, swinging through 100-mile-an-hour heat from Vizcaino, and then Hernandez would just lift a pop up in foul territory. That one is handled at third, and the Tigers with a 2-1 victory on opening day. Michael Fulmer gets the win, a gem from Matthew Boyd. Got to feel bad for Shane Bieber as he pitched extremely well but was unable to get the victory here as the Indians fall to the Tigers in a nail-biter and a heartbreaker. The Cleveland faithful going to go home disappointed after this one. We'll take a look at some of the statistics here. Fulmer again with the win. Whitgren picks up the loss, giving up 1 run over those 2 innings of relief. Vizcaino, 1 inning pitched, a solid 11th inning to pick up the save, his first of the year. The Tigers had 7 hits and a walk versus just 5 strikeouts. 5 strikeouts over 11 innings is pretty darn impressive in this day and age. So you got to like that they're putting the ball in play. A double for Schoop and Romine. Goodrum and Reyes with stolen bases. 4 perfect innings of relief from the Tigers bullpen. They struck out 19 and no walks as a team. That is extremely impressive. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Drop a like, subscribe, comment below, and we will see you all next time.